Good morning, classmates. Good morning, sir. I am Narcia Yuasmel, and today I will discuss to you the second hypothesis of Stephen Krashen, which is the natural order hypothesis. The natural order hypothesis is the idea that children learn their first language, acquire grammatical structures in a predetermined natural order, and some ELL students acquired the grammatical structures earlier than others. Meaning to say, this idea has been extended for account for second language acquisition in Krashen's theory of language acquisition. The natural order hypothesis states that grammatical structures are acquired in predictable order just the same way that native speaker learned their native language or their first language. English is perhaps the most studied language as far as natural order is concerned, and all of the structures of English morphology is the most studied. Furthermore, the natural order itself means that students or the ELL students or English language learners or even adults acquire grammatical structure through natural sequence, meaning to say they will learn certain grammar exercises before proceeding to the complex ones. For example, the students will learn the present tense ing as she likes dancing, before the students will learn the possessive s as Anna's dress is red. In some cases, the students also will learn the yes or no structured questions before learning the WH structured questions. Stephen Krashen suggests two ideas in this hypothesis. The first idea is the acquisition of grammatical structures follows natural order, which is predictable and mimics of first language acquisition. The second idea, that there is natural progression in the process of acquiring a second language. The average order of acquisition for grammatical morpheme for English as second language for both children and adults is as follows. The first one is the present and past progressive verb tenses. First, the ing ending used in the present and past progressive tenses. For example, I am speaking, that the present progressive, and the past progressive as he was listening. Plural as ending used in a plural forms of the noun like boys and bitches. While the third one is the conjugation of the verb to be or the be verbs. For example, is, am, are, was, were, been. Then the fourth one is the irregular simple past verb tense. For example, he caught a fish, we won a game, I forgot your name. The fifth example is the articles such as a and the. The next one is the regular past tense of the verb. Example, you learned, she walked, they studied. Next one is the simple present verb tense singular form. For example, he swims, she eats, he watches. The last one is the possessive case. In here, we are using apostrophe for the possessive case of noun such as Manuel's book, Elaine's t-shirt. And now the second idea that Krashen suggests is the natural progression in the process of acquiring second language. This second phenomenon of the natural order hypothesis, Krashen's claim that second language are acquired through four stages, in the same way the first language are acquired. The first stage is the pre-production stage or the silent period. This stage is for the students who's at the very, very beginning and they don't know any single word of English. It is also called the silent period because the knowledge or the English knowledge of the students is still empty. While the second stage is the early production stage. In here, when your English learners or ELL were able to answer one word. So meaning to say if the students have at least one English word, then the students already in early production stage. While the third stage is the speech emergence stage. In here, the students are finally entering the intermediate level and they are able to answer huge sentences, write sentences, but still a lot of grammar errors and their verb are not properly conjugated to its subject, but they are giving you a little more to work with. And the last stage, finally, the intermediate fluency stage. In here, the students are still in the intermediate but more fluent in speaking using the language, and they are already in a compound complex sentences and a fewer pronunciation and grammar errors. And now let's proceed to the possible implications of natural order hypothesis. The first one is moving too fast. Students who are not necessarily ready to move on may fail when it comes to structured syllabus. Meaning to say, the teacher should take it one step at a time in order for the students to be ready. While the second implication is the morpheme order. With second language learners, morpheme studies don't show that the linguistic features aren't learned in a particularly predictable sequence, meaning to say, learning morpheme needs to be in a particular sequence. A syllabus should not be based on the natural order hypothesis, said by Krashen during 1982. Lots of grammar programs are based on whether the points covered are easy or difficult for the teachers to formulate rather than on whether they are easy or difficult for the learner to acquire. What does natural order hypothesis mean for teaching? According to Krashen's theory, what you teach may not be acquired if the student is not ready. It is important for us teachers to know if our students are still in the learning process or not. And the teacher must also be patient with their students because according to the natural order hypothesis, this process of learning cannot be changed or speed up. These are the weaknesses of the natural order hypothesis. First, the morphemes themselves do not form any linguistic unity, so there can be no unitary hypothesis to explain why they should follow in sequence, said by Mason 2002. He also said any language learner's behavior may vary, so morpheme present today may disappear tomorrow. The order may depend to some greater or lesser extent upon the situation in which the learners acquire their second language. Last one, the complexity of morphemes depends on the learner's first language.